Esselamu Aleyküm ve Rahmetullah. Euzu billahi mineşşeytanirracim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Rabbi şrah li sadri ve yessir li emri ve hlul ukdeten min lisani yefkahu kavli ve cealli veziran min ehli Harun ahi iştud bihi ezri ve eşrikhu fi emri key nusebbihake kethira ve nezkurake kethira inneke kunte bina basira. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Inshallah, we will continue to study the story of Yusuf in the Quran, and we studied up to verse 22 of this section, Yusuf. And I just want to jump into the subject because our time is limited and some brothers may like to pray after the discussion. In those who are in New York, the time will be very limited. I just want to go into the subject directly without referring what we have been studying previously. So verse 22 says, when he reached maturity, of course, the Prophet Yusuf, because we are selecting the verses from the section Yusuf only directly related to, not indirectly, directly related to the life of the Prophet Yusuf. So when he reached maturity, we gave him judgment and knowledge. This is how we reward those who do good. So the words are used here. We have studied earlier on in the previous section as well, previous verses as well, which says, "Aitaynahu hukman wa ilman." Now we said very briefly, because we discussed this, to be wise, to make decision on wisdom, and also to have an authority on his decisions. This hukman, ataynahu hukman, hukman has all these meanings, variation of meanings. So we will see how he is going to use his wisdom, how he is going to use his knowledge and his judgment, and also be able to put his judgment into operation. We all know that from our previous cultures that we might have heard on many occasions the story of Yusuf. So we know that he is going to be the chief executor of the country where he lived, or when he was as a slave. Now, when he reached the age of maturity, which means before he was a child, that's what we understood. So it is important to notice that he was a child means, because we know that in our discussions, Yusuf represents our conscience, inner aspect of us, which recognizes the truth, and also continuously reminds the truth to us. Although we have many other elements in ourselves, all of them are called in the Quran ruh, the soul, human soul. But human soul has many different elements working together, like our body. I have my body, one body, but I have hands, I have my nose, I have my legs, all of them operating differently, and they are really fulfilling different functions. The spirit also has different elements functioning or performing different functions, which they are, for example, human free will. That is the most important aspect of our life. We have a free will. So everything will be according to the direction of the human free will takes. This simple, it is a simple example. If we give it car, the engine is independent being, body is independent being, tires are independent being, steering wheel is an independent being, but there is a big but. Whoever sits on the driver's chair, the whole car works at his service. We should never forget that our free will is the one who sits on the driver's wheel chair, and everything will be, when the car goes, stops, speeds up, or slows down, according to the choice of the one who sits in the driver's chair or seat. What does it mean? All the responsibility. No one blames, for example, if the car takes a wrong direction, no one blames the car. Although the all ability is related to car engine and other elements, everything. But the driver's chair, it means the one who sits in the driver's chair is responsible for everything. It is like a human being. I mean, this is just an analogy. Human being is not a machine, no, definitely. Everybody knows it. But in order to make the comparison between what our free will does in our life, it's a good example for me. It satisfies me. So who is sitting in the driver's chair? This is a free choice of the one who is the soul. Now, there's a trick here. That's not our subject. We studied it years ago in great detail about predetermination, the relationship between God's decision and human free will. That's a long story. We studied somewhere around 27 weeks or something. I don't remember. It was years ago at NYU. So those people who joined that time may remember better than I do, because my mind is everywhere. So I forgot about it. So human free will functions. We shouldn't forget that. But within the spirit, human soul, again, there is conscience. Always remembers the truth, reality. What's right, what's wrong. But free will doesn't have to listen. For example, car engine is always ready, and other elements in the car, the brake and the gas pedal and the other elements, whatever they are, they're all very important. They represent the reality of car, but the car moves according to the choice of the person who lives in the driver's wheel. I mean, who is important? The person is not important if there was no car. And as far as the driving is concerned, if the person is not important if the engine doesn't work. Yeah, that is an analogy I said it earlier on. So our free will is responsible whether it will receive, for example, I am sitting in my driver's wheel, in my car of the driver's wheel. I am responsible for it. My conscience tells me, you are doing something wrong, or right. Do I have to listen to it? No. How about my mind? My mind also is at the service of my free will. If I choose not to listen to my conscience, the news of my conscience or the message I receive, continuously receive from my conscience, then I say, because I don't want to listen to it, I'm free to choose. So I say, I employ my reasoning. This is important. Now, we have to be very careful. I employ my reasoning to find out some excuses or reasons, or not really, some things, so that I will justify my rejection of what I receive from my conscience. What does it mean? We always keep one phrase in our discussions. We say, biased people, in any sense, cannot really purely follow what conscience says. For example, let's say my conscience says, believe in God. And I said, okay, I believe in God. But my conscience said, which kind of he is? I don't listen. I don't say, I believe in God. Isn't that enough? So I built a bias. What? I believe in God, and that's it. Now, tell me what the religion says, I will do it, or reduce everything to ritualistic activities. Is it possible? Yeah. Or in the worst scenario, I say, look, I'm not going to believe in God. I ask God, I employ, actually, I am giving the authority to employ my reasoning, go and find out some excuses for it. Because since my conscience continuously reminds me, by definition, our spirit, our ruh, is from our Creator. It is always with us. As long as we exist, it is with us. Why? Because my existence belongs to my Creator. And it is from my Creator. It cannot separate me. So if I just reject what my conscience tells me, I will look for excuses and it has been natural. It has been always like this. Anyways, why do we need to refer to a Creator? Come on, there is no need. I can explain how this machine works by itself. Here it is. When you plug in the power, it starts working. There is only program in it. Anyway, there is no need to look for the source of the program. It means who? The programmer, whoever the processor of the program. There is no need. It is here. That's it. I don't know. I haven't seen such people at all here. Show me in the laptop. It is an excuse. Yeah, it looks like reasoning. All right, well, it's possible. But we can employ our reasoning to justify and look for the evidence in the creation, in myself, in my feelings, other feelings, as well. What conscience says is true. That is what hukm and hukman wa ilman refers to. He knows what is true, and he has the authority to put or to implement what is true in his life as well. That is what God says. We gave him hukum and ilm. It means knowledge and judgment and knowledge. But judgment is very limited meaning of, because unfortunately, most of the translations and commentaries take the translation, the direction of the translation according to the story of the Jews, the story of the prophet. Because he's going to be the chief executor, this translator preferred judgment, for example, but not necessarily being wise. Doing the right choice. Also is Hakim, comes from the same word, same root word. It includes in it, but we have to choose one word. We are just presenting a translation of it. Judgment, yes, correct. How about wisdom? Yes, correct. How about really vision that he sees what will happen in the future through his wisdom again? Yes, that is conscience. Conscience knows. Conscience always performs his duty perfectly. Okay. وكذلك نجزي المحسنين, because he has not decided to corrupt himself. It means he listened to his conscience and employed his free will to follow what the news he receives from conscience. For example, I can ask you a very simple question. I always keep repeating my deep knowledge of mathematics, showing with 2 plus 2 makes 4. So you can understand how deep it is. So how do I know it is really true? By examining, I can examine in any way I like. Of course, conscience confirms it. And because it doesn't bring any responsibility, my free will comfortably confirms it as long as there is an evidence out there. It doesn't deny. But every created or every being who exists, which doesn't have the quality to exist by itself, needs a creator. Needs a creator. What happens? It brings a responsibility on me, and my free will says, any superior being over me whom I have to follow? No. And ask my, or I am the representative of free will in my car, ask my reasoning, excuse me, something distracted my attention. So reasoning is go and find some things to appear to be right. But this is not conscious. So Yusuf is going to represent this, the consciousness. That is why we have to understand that consciousness knows, consciousness gives me a wise advice, always. It is always there. But like that, there is a, let's say, TV program going on and being broadcasted, and I don't turn my TV machine. Did I get it? No. Why? Because I prefer not to turn on my TV machine to the right channel. That's why I didn't get it. It doesn't mean it is not there. Exactly like this. Consciousness is always broadcasting. We have no excuse to say, I didn't know what the truth was. It is in me. So that's it. 23. The woman in whose house he was living tried to seduce him. It's beautiful, isn't it? In myself, there is an egoistic understanding of the world tries to seduce my consciousness. The inspirations I receive, broadcastings I receive from consciousness, reduce it. Why? She bolted the doors and said, okay, she really tried its best, my ego, its best. I'm not going to really submit myself to this conscience. Come to me. It means, come on, follow me. My ego says, come on, follow me. It means egocentric worldview. You are the one who is an independent being, and you want to act as yourself. Wouldn't you like it? That is what really appearing. Of course, this woman, we should not forget, this woman where Yusuf is living in her house, Yusuf is living appears to be a slave, but it is God's plan. It means our spirit appears to be imprisoned within our body, but it is God's plan. Our body will like to have this, to have authority, to have certain status in the society, admiration of the people. That is what we need. We are given the opportunity whether to follow or to reject. Now, ego sees the existence of me in terms of material world only, which is described in many commentators, in the books of the commentators, commentary on the Quran, as beauty of Yusuf. It means his charming material appearance. I love to have a big house. How can I have it? Of course, I have to do some quick way of making money. For example, simple way. I don't want to go into details. Gambling, getting millions and buying these houses. Appearance, material appearance. If I decide this, I bolt the doors over the conscience. For me, it means broadcasting is going on. The TV screen is showing. I turn the TV off, blank, power off, finish. I want to be independent. I don't want to listen what the truth is, what my reality tells me. It says, come to me. Answered, God forbid. Yep. Ma'adallah. It means God forbid, but ma'adallah, it's an expression. You know, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Every one of us is familiar with this phrase. I seek refuge with God from the whisperings of shaitan. Comes from the same word. A'udhu, adha. Ma'ad is the place where somebody seeks refuge with. Or, this is, we are not studying the Quran from grammatic perspective, but Ma'adallah means as an expression, God is the only place of refuge. It is called, I don't know how it's called in the Zarfu Mekan. In English, I don't know the terminology. I'm sorry. Innahu Rabbi. Now, the conscience is very clever, playing with the words, depending on the audience. As far as Innahu Rabbi means, God forbid, it is not right to be with who has been taking care of. Oh, let's say, he is my Lord. Now, according to Yusuf, his Lord is what? According to conscience, his Lord is the Lord of the universe. But according to the one who hears this, ma'adallah, this expression, it is the master of the slave, which means in the Quran, Aziz, the owner of the house. The woman is the wife of this Aziz. It means chief administrator of that time. So she understood that one, and the Prophet Yusuf referred to his Rabb. No, because he has been given wisdom how to play with the words. He knows it. Ahsana mathwa. So he has really made my place of a secure place. It means, for example, I can say, now I can say, I am the conscious now. Look, God gave me a very good method, the place of stay here, because my spirit, my conscience functions only through this body, and whatever it needs in this world, but not all, but majority of it, as far as my relationship with the universe is concerned, whatever I need to use the tools to communicate with the world, detect or see the signs and understand the meaning. All the tools are my reason, my ears, my mouth, my tongue, my nose, my hand. Everything is given to me. So my conscience can easily operate. My spirit can easily operate while I am in this world. That we can say this is my mathwa. It means where I have been taken care of here. My needs are taken care of through these means that I am put by God, but according to them, or the Aziz and his wife, they think that Yusuf is their slave. No, I mean, status-wise, yes, it was a slave. It was sold as a slave. Indeed, the wrongdoers never succeed. إنه لا يحلف الظالمين. So we have to understand this. Translation misses everything. Joseph answered, God forbid, it is not right to betray my master who has taken good care of me. Indeed, the wrongdoers never succeed. Now, we understand that before, God said, we have settled Yusuf in a secure place. It means we have settled conscience in a secure place, body, according to the necessities of this world, this existence. In the hereafter, it is not our subject now. Where did you get this hereafter now? But in the next creation, I will be given another secure place for my spirit. It means another body, which will function according to the conditions of that creation. So we have to understand that body always spirit, human soul always needs body. That's why next creation is called in the Quran Hashr, which is gathering together, resurrection. It is translated as resurrection. It means being resurrected again, put into form of a human being according to those conditions now. All right. Any question? Any question? Oh, is there? No. Any comment? No. Okay. I will move that. If you don't ask, if you don't make question or concern or objections, I will go ahead. All right.
So one comment.
Just a
do you hear me?
I can hear you. Just a minute.
Yeah.
Comment. No, I see you are going to make the comment.
Yeah. So all the impulses and caprices are trying to communicate with the conscience. That's what you're saying, to take them in the wrong direction, but the conscience always points to the right one. And that's what the reply of the conscience is, that, hey, look, don't divert me from the right path, because can it be influenced?
Now, conscious is the main element in our spirit. Now, other elements function in a different way, but other elements under the control and direction of the choice of the free will, other elements. But without engine, the car doesn't work, finish. But there is simple examples. There are brakes, a gas pedal, signals, whatever, direction itself. But direction doesn't turn itself according to the driver's will or choice. It turns, driver turns it, but direction is the part of the car. Like that, human beings have other elements in their spirit. It means in their human side, humanity. So the other elements work according to the choice of the free choice of the driver. That is free choice. In fact, driver is the free choice. Spirit is what makes me a human being altogether. My conscience always reminds me what's right, what's wrong. My conscience within me. But other elements are under the, if you like, employment of the free will. Did I answer your question, or did I understand your question so that the answer is appropriate or not? I would like to check myself.
So if you go back to the previous verse, please. So the answer that Joseph gives.
Yeah. Okay.
How's that answer coming? So taking refuge with God.
Joseph or Yusuf is consciousness itself. Consciousness always knows what is right, what is wrong. Consciousness is decorated, if you like, with the necessary equipment by God. آتَيْنَاهُ حُكْمًا وَعِلْمًا. Did you understand? What consciousness functions according to the choice of its creator. Creator made it, if you like, created it, that it will always be aware of the truth, what's right, what's wrong, and always, if you like, broadcast the truth to human free will. So human free will listens or doesn't listen, rejects it, and employs other tools of the spirit to work according to his choice. But human free will cannot shut conscience up, but ignore it. Ignore it. That is possible. Or listen to it. Still, I think, clear or not, please. Don't, if it is not clear, please ask, keep asking.
It's clear, thank you.
Well, don't give up, eh? Really, it must be really clear. Eh?
No, so it's a beautiful thing, conscience, and it keeps you in the right direction.
Yeah, conscience is not under the control of free will. Otherwise, if consciousness works according to the choice of the free will, then I will say, okay, consciousness, bring me this false evidence, made up evidences. Consciousness doesn't do that. Mind does it. That's why the Muslim scholarship or the people generally are very sensitive about the mind, because mind can produce false evidence. Oh, well, how can you rely? Don't you hear this rhetoric among the Muslims? So on every occasion, we cannot rely on our narrow, how do you say, fallible reasoning. Is it correct? Correct, but it may be employed according to the choice of the free will to understand and confirm what consciousness says, what consciousness inspires. When the Quran it says we have always a qareen, we studied the word qareen long ago, I remember now. It is always in our proximity, adjusts to our being. always whispers the truth, Kareen. So there is also egoistic desires, but egoistic desires also whispers. Free will decides between two. If the free will says, I'm going to follow egoistic desire, I'm going to declare my independence in my existence from my creator, I don't want to accept the creator, that's the choice. So what we do now, we always listen to the excuses, false reasonings. That's what we keep hearing from nowadays scientists, philosophers. Made up stories. If you really carefully listen to them, although we don't know what it is, but it is possible. We will investigate. Don't you see that? Don't you see that? Although you don't know what it is, how do you decide that it exists by itself? Show me an evidence. It is so simple trick. I mean, human beings are free. Human beings are free. We have to watch out for our own responsibility. So employ other feelings accordingly. For example, my feeling says I want to be eternally happy. We repeated this expression 1,000 times because it is our real quality. I want to be eternally happy. But what I can do, I ask I choose, free will chooses, reason said that, no, it is made up story, it is learned from culture. But everybody, the person who says, I don't believe that there is anything after death, we will die and that is the end of my existence, goes to the stores, they want to get the best one for the price they want to buy. Why? Why do you want to get the best one? And because I like it, but your sense of likes eternal happiness. When it comes to eternal happiness, why do you deny it? Because it says, oh, this is learned from culture. It is nourished and not natural according to their language. Why? You keep hearing from your parents. No, go and see and listen to a person who has been grown into an atheistic society within a pure atheistic family. It means father, parents, environment, relatives, all together. If you don't mention about belief in God, anything like this, do you want to get a house that it will be beautiful? Yeah. And do you want to live in it so comfortable that you don't have to bother about the bills or anything? And there will be servants there who say, oh, no, what are you talking? That don't make me laugh. Happy. All right. Do you want to live in it without getting old? Without getting old? Is it possible? Yeah, why not? Right? That feeling is speaking now. When you come there, that is a sign for the reality of eternal happiness. There is no such eternal happiness. Denies. Or he says, yes, really, depends. There are many people who I have experienced some of them, not big numbers, but some. They lived in an atheist family householding, and they embraced Islam and said that the Quran is just speaking to me. I heard this in my ears, with my ears. I read the Quran, I said, and rejected my family's culture. How? Well, if something is really implemented from the culture, it must be natural to me. I mean, using this word consciously in quote unquote. It must be within myself. Whereas seeking, desiring eternal happiness is my reality. But if it comes to submission to the Creator, believing God, simply put it, they reject it. All right? Inshallah. They may reject it. Not necessarily that this is the influence, environmental influence, or not necessarily. We are being indoctrinated in the schools, and here you go. Here you are. We are here with a map. Those things, they interpretations taught us is nothing but trash. And here I am, I'm believing God. But I am grown into, or I have been educated into an atheistic secular system. It's atheistic, secular, not necessarily atheistic, but secular society, civilization. But I prefer not to follow it and listen to my consciousness. My consciousness says you need to have a creator. Okay? Inshallah.
So, so basically, like the analogy you gave about the broadcast, right? So the conscious is always
Awesome.
yes.
Basically, what did you say? Basically, I couldn't catch you.
Okay, so I said the analogy that you gave about the broadcasting. So the free will has the option to either focus on that broadcast or go with the egoist desire.
All right, turn it off.
Yeah. So the free will is the driver's seat. Yeah.
Put the bolt on it. Is it possible? Yeah. You are free. We have to watch out our free will. All our problems related to belief in God and also other desires, really we have to take care of our free will. Free will is the center, the most, maybe the only, not the they, not maybe, the only responsible element in our existence. Everything is really as God created, designed and created. But the free will also is created by God. That is my opportunity. I use it and really understand the truth better and better, prepare myself for the eternal life, to be in the presence of God. So I will appreciate his manifestations of his qualities at a higher level that I trained myself and prepared myself to get, or to communicate. I mean, for example, if you learn mathematics at the level of high school, that's that much you know. If you learn it at the, for example, graduate level, that is that much you know. There's a difference. That is exactly the place here we are being educated. That's why we keep the analogy, repeating this analogy, that the universe is nothing an education institution for us. For others, that is their business. We have to take care of ourselves. Okay, Bismillah, year of 24. Verse 24. Be careful here. وَلَقَدْ هَمَّتْ بِهِ. The truly she desired him. Now, be careful. And he desired her.
Brother, we're not seeing the slide. If you can go to the next slide then. Thank you.
So we went back and...
Yep, thank you.
No, is it?
It's too much.
Too much?
Yep, this one.
This is correct? Okay.
Yep.
Because I'm not seeing in my screen here, because I'm looking at my notes. Now, we have to admit that we always go through two stages. Somebody may say, look, I have been attending these classes for 10 years. It is a background of more than 10 years. So you always keep saying the same thing. Quran, the summary, the main equation of the Quran is La ilaha, therefore illallah. Like some people, the famous physicist declared, I can give you a very simple, that M equals something, something, you know that, like that one. I mean, it works, it doesn't work. Nowadays, they say it doesn't work. But somehow it is the foundation of everything. But the Quran's La ilaha illallah always works. La ilaha, therefore illallah. So how the conscious says, you love beauty eternally. But I am here in this world. We have to understand this. Because it's a big debate going on in the classical commentaries on this, how then the prophet, they don't really interpret it. Most of them, very few of them, are open to this kind of interpretations that we are following here. Very few, rare. But the majority of them, they say Yusuf is the prophet. How prophet can desire illegitimate lady or women? No, we are very careful not to fall into the story, and also under the influence of Israeliyat. It means rabbinic interpretation, Jewish rabbinic traditional interpretations, because they always mention in this on these lines that Yusuf desired her. Now we have to understand what our reality is. So inshallah, we are trying to be very careful not to fall into Israeliyat elements' influence in understanding this narration and make it really within the framework of Quranic teaching as much as we can. Not guaranteed, not perfect, according to our capacity, but we are aware not to fall into that, if you like, swamp. To me, I mean, it is horrible. So how we function in this world. Now, first, my inclination is what? Beauty must be admired. But I am in this world. I look at it. So my conscience says, hey, this is beautiful. Okay, you desire it. But I go there, no. Not the object itself. Let's say a beautiful flower. All right? A beautiful rose. First, love the beauty. The message came. I say, I love rose. The rose there. Beauty, I just want to have it, smell it, etc. Watch it, take a picture, send it, or put it on Instagram or whatever they call these trash things, and then say that, look, I have seen this beautiful flower, and share it with my friends. That inclination happens, but La ilaha is there. Oh, flower, the rose fades away. And you know that even it is alive for the moment you saw it, you know that it is transient, it will go away. But the concept of beauty is something constant, represented in the existence of flower, saying that flower is declaring to me, hey, I am not beautiful, but my maker made me beautiful because he is a beautiful creator. Or he is a creator who creates everything beautifully with his quality of beauty. So that he created me in this world to look at the rose and acknowledge the beauty and first incline to it. And then I will give you the message through your consciousness. It is transient. It is just a signpost showing or signaling to me where the beauty came from. That's what he desired her. Now, be careful here. It is a very, very, enormous amount of argument is going on in the classical. You fed up. You just feel fed up reading again and again this interpretation, this justification. There are excuses, really. So be careful here. It is in bracket. It is really ingrained in the meaning of the verse. He would have succumbed if not that he saw the evidence of his Lord. Oh man, it is obvious. I don't know why people find it difficult. Levla in Ra'a Burhana Rabbi. Now I look at the beautiful flower. I loved it and I love the beauty, but not the flower itself is the source of existence of beauty. I saw the evidence of my creator of that beauty, that he is the beautiful one. And then what happened? كَذَلِكَ نُصَرِّفُ عَنْهُ السُّوءَ. That is why how the God says, how we created, we turned him from him evil, and we turned him, which kind of language is it? I didn't notice the translation. We turned him from him, evil and indecency. There's something wrong. It's obvious, isn't it? But that's understood from the English one. وكذلك, sort of from the Arabic original. وكذلك لنصرف عنه السوء والفحشاء. From evil, I think we turned him from the evil. I think it should be the.
Maybe we turned him away from evil and indecency.
Yeah, maybe because Esu is ma'rifah. That is why the translation preferred the evil and indecency. Just to be literally, how do you say, honest to the text. Maybe in English you can say, we turned him from evil and indecency, but the evil and indecency in this process, the evil. This is what I mean. In this process of La ilaha illallah. So, but this is what is important here. If, as soon as he saw the evidence of his Lord, when I look at the beautiful flower, my consciousness informed that you should love beauty. That is in my nature, if you like. I loved it, but as soon as I loved the beauty, I saw the evidence of my Lord. It means the one who created the flower is a beautiful creator. So, my sense of loving the beauty must be directed not to the body of the flower, body of the beauty of the woman in this scenario, but God created her beautifully. So beauty belongs to her creator. So my love, my inclination, my desire must be directed to the creator of this lady who created her beautifully. I mean, the text is clear. If only we cleared our mind from influences of the cultural thing that we keep hearing, Israeliyat, this rabbinic interpretations, you can easily see that. I don't know, I'm not a very deep expert of Arabic language, but it is so clear. لولا أن رأى برهان ربه كذلك نصرف عنه السوء والفحشاء إنه من عبادنا المخلصين, because he was truly one of our sincere servants. He didn't have the intention to love the beauty of the body of women. But he is given the ability, we have to understand this. His conscience is able to recognize that beauty does not belong to the material body, but the creator of this body beautifully. Understood? That is, if you understood this, today's class really fulfilled this mission. So essential, mashallah. But the Quran description is, oh man, beautiful, mashallah. Let me see, I'm sorry. Thank you for letting me know. Sorry, I didn't do anything. Sam? Sorry, I don't know what happened. Maybe something was wrong and somebody reminded him, whatever. Now, did you see the beauty of the verse? If only we don't condition ourselves with the cultural influence and with a free, unconditioned heart, when we look at the verse, and the verse, when we understand the verse within the general context of the teaching of the Quran, the purpose of the Quran, we really understand what God, my Lord, is teaching me. It is not difficult at all. One thing, don't take it anything for granted. That is what we hear. Just say, God speaks to me in order to really make me understand what my reality is. Here we are. Okay. Do you have any? Sarah Alalam, can somebody please repeat that last main point? I have a lot of background noise. Who will kindly respond to the request of Sarah? Come on, one of you. My language is not enough. I know that. So I don't claim that I will really repeat myself. Who understood the last point? Let's check each other. Come on, we don't have much time. Come on. So say what you understood. Come on, go ahead. Asim, Aruna, Aisha.
Okay, so in the example of the flower, that was the main point, that the beauty does not belong to the flower. So as a human being, my first inclination is, I love that beauty, I attribute it to the flower, but then la ilaha illallah comes to me. You tell me, yes, points me in the right direction.
Excuse me, Asim.
Yep.
It comes to me because, be careful. Sorry.
Because of conscience, right?
No, كذلك لنصرف عنه السوء. Now, لولا أن رأى برهان ربه. Now, burhan Rabbi is from our creator. So when we understand, conscience itself automatically understands that beauty cannot belong to the flower, the body of the flower, body of the woman, but beauty belongs to its creator, her creator. So conscious immediately jumps from la ilaha into illallah. And when illallah, when he realized that he has to love the one who created her beautifully. So he said, keep away. This is the teaching of human beings by God through conscience within myself, in our social life within the prophet, through the prophets. But prophets also put it into practice, this message of God. So conscience comfortably confirms the prophetic mission. These are all interrelated. Asim, I interrupted you, I know, but this teaching is going on here by God. It means conscience is created with this quality, with this mission, by the will of Creator. So when I receive any news from my conscience, it is from my Creator. So my created me in this world, first I have to love the beautiful flower. Immediately I can realize, I am given the ability to realize that beautiful flower is not because of the material components of the flower, but because of its creator made it beautiful. Created it beautifully. Conscious immediately shifts from paying attention to the flower itself to the creator of the flower, using the flower as a jumping board to reach God. So conscious directly takes us in contact with our creator. That is why this verse, this part of the word, وَهَمَّ بِهَا, it means he desired her, is very human, not a fallacy. If it was a fallibility of the prophet, then la ilaha, no prophet should say la ilaha. Every prophet directly would say illallah, illallah, illallah. No, every prophet teaches us la ilaha illallah. These two stages of or steps of realizing the truth is very human. It is in the Quran. It is in the life of the prophets. It is in me. They were all together. I cannot deny myself that when I see something beautiful, I just pay attention to it, but then I realize, no, the one who created it beautifully, I have to direct my love of beauty to him, to the creator, not to the object, created object. That is a very, very necessary human nature that we all have to understand this. We don't hate the word. We use it as a jumping board to reach God. That is what my conscience is qualified to teach me. Inshallah, this very important message of the Quran, very practical message of the Quran, understood today. So you can comfortably see that I love this something, whatever it is. I love this laptop. Okay, but creator of the laptop, jump. You don't have to hate the beautiful laptop. No, it is God's gift to me in order to get to know him. How beautiful the order of the universe is, so that the order of the universe gives us the opportunity to make this beautiful laptop. Do you understand all this? I think you do, definitely. So
Brother Ali, so Burhana Rabbihi. So in every interaction, we have that Burhana Rabbihi, right?
Yeah. No, even the, whatever. Okay. Burhana Rabbi. He's the evidence of his Lord. It means in the beauty of the woman here, this woman desired him, he desired her. Now, as soon as she's a beautiful lady, huh? But beauty doesn't belong to him. Beauty belongs to God. So my admiration of beauty must be in his name. So we should understand that this linasrifa anhu also is very important. Nasrifa means turn him, but we turned him. God says we did it. We enabled the conscience to turn from falling into this world, but to God. This is God's plan. What consciousness cannot have this quality by itself. God gave it. That is why Yusuf here, representative of the conscience, Yusuf is employed by God to teach me this. My reality. I cannot say that I don't love beautiful flower. I love God. That is not me in this world. Impossible. God created me with La ilaha illallah. But God didn't create me illallah. In the hereafter, illallah. Okay. But here, no. That is what we have to be careful, how to reason, how to use our power of reasoning in order to understand what the Quran is saying, what the truth is, how we can approve that whatever conscious inspires me, tells me, I can say, yeah, that is right, through my free will. These are all beautiful, it makes me excited, inshallah, in this word. Bismillah ar-Rahman. I'm just stopping here. Time is late. We have to pray. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Yeah, please excuse me. It is too late for the prayer, so I have to just move away and close the, inshallah, the room meeting.